Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Vent This. Chrissy, Don, and I are here to exercise our right to witticism. Yes, that's what I said, witticism. It's a new word. I found it the other day in the dictionary. Anyway, so today I'm wearing a new pair of compression socks, and I think it will help me make some of my responses spectacular. I've got the feeling. Chrissy, Don, you guys are here, right?
Yeah,
yes, I'm here.
All right. Hey, do you guys realize that every time you clean something, you actually make something else dirty? Just ponder that for a moment.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but I never will think about it again.
I'm post-pondering.
Post-pondering. All right. Well, should we get started? We don't have Loretta again today. I don't know if she's out on another ski trip or something. I don't know where she is. She didn't show up. I don't see her in her cubicle.
And I'm calling HR. This is ridiculous.
Oh, what are they going to do?
I don't know.
Is that Henry Rodriguez? Why are you calling him?
Okay, let's get going.
All right, let's get started with the first vent. I think it's actually a voicemail, I think.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I have a vent for you. You ever buy tickets to a really fancy theater production with your family, and you get all dressed up, and you get very excited about going and seeing some cultural experience, and you sit down, and you put your coat behind you, and you get all tucked in, and the lights go down, and the stage gets lit, and all of a sudden, the person in front of you sits down, and they have just the craziest, largest hairstyle you've ever seen in your life. It's like 1986 all over again. And you can't see around it, and you can't see over it, and you can't see anything. Ay, put your hair in a ponytail. Someone help me out. Anyway, that's my vent.
Well, when you go to a theme park and you want to get on a ride, if you have a little kid with you, they measure the kid. And if the kid isn't a certain height, they can't get on the theme ride. Well, they ought to do that maybe at the theater and measure people's haircuts. And if their haircuts are too high, then they have to sit in the back of the theater.
I love that idea, Don. I love that. Yeah. I mean, that's a good idea because, it's exciting. You go to the theater, you get all ready, you're all psyched up, you've spent money, maybe you've gone to dinner, all that stuff. And then it's ruined by some idiot with big hair. I think they really should ban big hair and big hats in the theater. I mean, sitting behind someone, with a particularly bouffant, long, frizzy mane is a real annoyance, for two reasons. It blocks the view of the stage. And then it causes me to wag around, waggle back and forth, which is annoying the person behind me. And it also invades my personal space when they've got really voluminous hair, big, long hair that spills over the back of the seat, and it's on my knees.
Oh, yeah.
If you were going back and forth, pretty much everybody behind you is going back and forth, right and left.
Right.
Pretty soon the audience looks like the ocean.
I guess.
It's a big wave.
Yeah, and I guess it actually works if you're at a musical. Right?
Next.
But, yeah, it could increase the ratings of the musical, but yeah. And
It's a
I would
problem.
also, I mean, and this is a little hypocritical for me to say this because I'm a tall person, but I would also ban very tall people. I don't like heads in my line of sight and knees banging on the back of my chair. These big tall people, they have nowhere to put their legs. So I think hats and big hairdos should just be checked at the door with your guns and your bows and arrows.
And architects need to be vetted a little bit better because they need to build these stadiums so that they go on a slant up higher.
Well, they do. They're just not high enough.
They're not high enough. Yeah.
And you can't wear a hat in the theater. You're not allowed to wear a hat, at least as far as I know.
Well, I don't believe you can, but you can come in with big hair. I mean,
big hair is a problem.
I've seen that happen with, giant hair. The people's hair, they've got this hairdo that's as wide as their shoulders, and the people behind can't see on either side.
Do you know what I'm going to do?
No. What are
sorry,
you gonna
Don.
do, Chrissy?
Oh, thank you, Chuck.
I remember when you're a little kid and you're getting a haircut, they put a seat on top of the seat.
Yeah.
So the haircut, maybe they hand those out in the theaters.
Well, they have them in the theaters for children, but if an adult sits on one, now the person behind you is going to have to put two, person behind them 3, and somebody's going to hit their head on the ceiling eventually, 5 rows back.
And then they're going to fall and break their neck, and there's a lawsuit.
And then they're going to try to sue the theater.
Yeah,
and the person with the big hair is going to walk out.
Chuck, you're just complaining a lot because you don't have a lot of hair. So it's not
Thank
your
you.
problem.
Thank you. You know why
But
I don't have a lot of hair?
why?
I go to the theater a lot.
Okay. What happens? What does that mean?
I'm respectful of the people behind me.
Oh, you take your hair off before you
Right,
go.
exactly. I know that I'm
Okay.
tall, so I take my hair off. And I
Maybe there should
slouch
be
down.
maybe there should be a barber in every lobby of a theater.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Just like when you go to the airport and you have to put your carry-on bag in the little thing
Yeah.
to make sure it's going to fit under the seat. Make
Right.
sure your head's going to fit in your
That's
seat
it.
at the
You got to
theater.
sit in the barber chair.
See that?
I think we
You
should
get a
move
shave
on to
and a
the
haircut,
next.
2 bits.
We're going to trim you down if you want to be in that show.
Okay, let's
See that
let's
show.
move on to the next fan. My solution is I'm going to call a theater and see what they do about that problem. Okay, anyway, should we move on to the next one?
Well,
Yes.
why not? I don't see why not.
Okay, yeah.
All right, here's a cool one. You know what I can't stand? ... Ellipsical. What do they call that? An ellipsical? Something when it's ... Is when my neighbor uses his leaf blower at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. For Christ's sake, it's my day off and I want to sleep late. ... Ellipsical. Relax with a cup of coffee with my wife and just chill. But no, this jackass seems to think that everyone gets up early on a weekend and blows his leaves off the driveway. There should be a law against this. ... Signed, blowing off steam, not leaves, from Florida. That's what this guy's venting about. And I got to tell you really quickly that the answer would be to move the hell out of Florida, because the reason they come so early is because the humidity hits 320 by 9 o'clock. They got to get it done or else they melt.
Yeah, they're sweating. What happens is that from the humidity, they sweat. The sweat drips on the leaves, and then the leaves stick to the ground, and you can't blow them out. That's what
And then
happens.
the leaves, and then when they sweat, the leaves stick to your head, and you don't realize there's a leaf on your head, and you're walking around like an idiot.
There you
Then
go.
you have to leave.
Yeah, there you
Then
go.
you have to leave.
So you have to leave Florida. Yeah, but I mean, usually, I mean, I think the law really is like 7 a.m. But I mean, I'm okay with 8 a.m. on the weekends and 9 o'clock on Saturday. I think Sundays, you know, it's kind of an inconvenience to even blow leaves on Sundays. I think it's just like inappropriate on Sundays. Just like, you know, take a day of rest, relax, you know, whatever. But I mean, some of the etiquette things, it's like with that too. It's like you don't point the nozzle at people, you know, or pets or houses or people's windows. And, you know, that's another thing people, you know, when they blow leaves, they just blow, you know, and they blow them over to the neighbor's yard. And when you blow it into a pile, pick that shit up, get it out of there. You don't blow it to the neighbor's yard. Then the other gardener comes or the other person comes and they blow it back over, and the same
Yeah.
shit goes back and forth all over the neighborhood. Nobody picks the
Yeah.
stuff up. You may
Yeah.
want to consider recycling the leaves, you know, offer them to some neighbors that use them for mulch or, you know, compost or whatever. I don't know. Just a thought. I have many thoughts, as you people know.
I'm curious to know if it's a gas blower or an electric blower,
No, it's
Because
a
I
leaf
think-
blower. It's a leaf blower.
because I think the gas blowers have a higher pitch as opposed to an electric blower. And I know in California, they just passed a law that says you cannot use gas anymore because of the emission it makes for people who potentially have asthma or have breathing problems.
It's a leaf blower, Chrissy. Blowing gas is a whole different thing. We're not talking about that.
Blame it on the dog.
It's like,
Well, we're not talking about, we're moving on from that, Chuck.
Whoa,
I just gotta
okay.
say, they put mufflers on cars. Can't they put a muffler on a blower?
They probably could. Well, I
Yeah,
think
like
they
a
have them.
silencer.
I think they
Yeah.
have
They
them.
can put
Yeah.
them on guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not put them on the, if you're blowing gas, wear
But
a
this-
muffler.
Take one off your gun and put it
I
on
just-
your...
I just think this guy has a valid problem because I hate it when in the morning, my husband and he works a lot, and Saturday mornings is a day to chill, and all of a sudden you're, and you're like, what the hell is that?
You know, in my neighborhood, people were blowing on New Year's Day. It's like, don't people rest? I don't understand it.
Right. Yeah.
Blowers were going, it's like nobody cares about
Just
that
blow away
anymore.
your blowers.
It used to
Yeah.
be on Sundays, people
Because
didn't,
the blowers don't live on your block.
That's true.
No, that's true.
I'd like to see how the blowers react if their neighbors, if they're blowing on their block and their neighbors complain about them. We're always complaining about people who don't live on our block.
Yeah. BB, blower block. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. All right.
should we,
Well, yeah, I think
what
we
should we
blew
do?
the hell
Move
out
on.
of that story. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
All right.
Oh, wait. That might be the last one. No. Oh, no,
we have another
more.
one. We have
One
another
more?
one.
One a month?
Okay.
No, we have
All right.
two more. We have
I'm
two
blowing
more.
myself
more.
away. Okay.
Jeez.
All right. Here's the next fence that I have here that I'll read. Here goes. Why can't the car companies make the horns on cars cut off after a certain time? Let's say 5 seconds. I swear to God, this asshole kept his hand on his horn because someone cut him off on a surface road. Really? It's loud. It's obnoxious. Maybe there should be a horn police to give out tickets for these kinds of idiots. And after this guy caught up with the guy that cut him off, he started screaming at him. Total asshole. Signed, Stop Honking.
Well, when I was in London a couple of years ago, you're not allowed to blow your horn in London. You get a ticket. They don't have honking police. They have honking barbies. And they come over with their stick and they give you a ticket, the honking
Wow.
barbies.
Just for honking your
Bobbies?
horn?
Yeah,
Wait,
in London proper. Yes, in the
Those are
city of
police.
London.
The police.
Wait,
they're bobbies.
They're not
Bobbies?
police,
Yeah,
they're bobbies. They're
Right,
bobbies.
They
they're
call
bobbies.
police bobbies. Oh,
Well, they're
okay.
they're policing kind of people, but they're not the actual police. They're the bobbies.
Oh, they're not like a trained police officer.
No, and they're all men, and then the female bobbies are Barbies.
Okay, Chuck.
And they wear pink.
So
they-
they're like, wait, so they're like traffic, the guys that give you tickets for parking. They're like those kind of guys?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I thought they were actual police, but they
Oh,
call them bobbies.
yeah.
They're honking bobbies.
So they can't give you a ticket for anything else?
Well, there are actually big signs, metal signs on the street in London that says honking is prohibited. You're not allowed to honk your horn if you're in the city of London.
Right.
You have to
right.
go over the line, wherever that line is, and then you can blow your brains out.
Right.
Honk your brains out if you want, but you got to be over the line.
Out of the city limits. Well, people blow their horns because they're just frustrated, they're angry, they're impatient, but sometimes people are overly cautious, and they honk their horn because they're nervous. I don't know. There's nothing that you can do about it. I don't think you could stop it, except maybe in London, and maybe you can carry your own bobby with you, and then when anybody blows a horn, you just have the bobby smack them, with the stick. All you're really doing is annoying people, around you. But on the other hand, there's nothing dangerous about blowing your horn. It's just annoying. But on the other hand, blowing your nose too much could actually cause a breakage of blood vessels.
Once again, Chuck's off script. You know what I think? I agree with what's this person's name? Stop Honking.
Stop honking. That's a weird name. I've never known anybody with that
Well,
name.
yeah, because honestly, when I'm walking and I'm a walker, I walk all over the neighborhood. If somebody honks,
Huh?
yeah, the horn, say that 3 times.
Why?
You get
Toy boat,
you-
toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
right. You jump, you get scared. And I've seen people literally like stop on their tracks because somebody honked their horn.
You shouldn't be walking on the tracks. Supposed to walk on the sidewalk.
I was.
They're stopping on the tracks.
Okay, no, okay, getting back. Come back, Chuck.
I'm here.
Yeah. So
Hello?
I just think, it's a form of aggression and I don't like it. And I would love it if you put your hand on the horn, let's say, and some people keep it there. Let's say it cuts off after 5 seconds. I think that's a genius idea. Because people, I know you use a horn to get somebody's attention, or you see somebody you know, you honk the horn to wave at them. I get
Yeah,
that. That
yeah.
makes sense. But you can really tell the difference between an aggressive horn honker and
Yeah.
a friendly horn honker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, back in the 50s, that's how guys picked up girls. A girl would walk across in the front of the car and the guy would go, and that was the best idea
Yeah,
he
yeah,
had.
dude. Yeah, yeah. They'd look at you and you'd yell out something, really witty, like, hey, stop your grinning and drop your linen.
Oh my God. Nobody says that, Chuck.
To you, maybe.
Oh, no way.
That was the best way. That's what we had came up with in the 50s
Yeah.
to pick up girls. Honk
Yeah.
your horn.
How do you say it? What does it say it, Chuck?
Oh, it's stop your grinning and drop your linen.
Oh my God. I've never heard that.
Oh, well.
You guys are
that's
old.
what you get from cruising. All right. So have we done this?
The answer is blow your nose instead of blowing your horn.
Right, but don't blow your nose too much because you can cause damage.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Or
so
maybe just roll the window, the window come down and say stop. Or maybe that wouldn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
How
Oh,
about
well,
whistling? Roll the window down and whistle. That was another way
Whistle.
we picked up girls, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That worked.
Yeah, yeah. Or just look and smack yourself in the face like, wow. Yeah. I mean, there was all kinds of crazy things you did as teenagers. But okay. So I guess, did we solve this? No, of course not. But maybe we should move on to the next one.
Good idea.
All right.
Stop honking.
All right. This letter is signed by the Plastic Protester. Another weird name I've never heard. I've never known anybody with that name. But he writes, or she writes, they write, what is wrong with all these giant stores like Costco and Home Depot that sell products that are in these hard plastic cases that you can't open? One time I used a knife and I almost cut off my good finger. I guess he's only got one good finger. I've tried scissors, but that doesn't work either. Can you guys tell me, am I whining or is this legit?
Well, first of all, Plastic Protester sounds like a band I was in the 60s. But the stores have to do that because, people are the worst. They'll start opening packages before they buy them, and pretty soon we'll have people gargling Levoris in the aisles,
And putting it and just putting the cap back on the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Gargling what?
Levoris.
What's Levoris?
It's a
Mouthwash.
mouthwash from the 70s.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
Don bought a case of it. He still has a couple bottles.
My basement is full.
He it was before Costco. But
Okay.
he bought
We're
it.
back
but-
in the 50s.
Yes.
Well, it keeps people from shoplifting and stuff too. It's like it just seals everything in there. But you can open these, and sometimes they're called clamshell type packaging. They're hard to cut with your everyday scissors. But you can really breeze through those things using like a manual can opener. Can openers work on those things. You just crank right around and
For
open it
real?
up. For real. Why would I tell you something that's not real, Chrissy? Have you ever known me to say something that's false?
Well, that's why like Costco probably sells things like a 32 pack because it's harder to slip in your pocket and walk out the door with.
Right. Yeah. 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 Because you can't just take a bottle.
The whole point, I think, for this hard packaging is, also through transportation. It's so difficult. It travels well, this hard plastic, and I think that's part of it. And it's also a lot cheaper to package in plastic. But they should have a way to. I mean, I've had this problem where you get batteries, let's say, and you're like spending 15 minutes trying to open it, and then you suddenly use a pair of scissors, and then you ruin the scissors because it's so hard to open the package.
Can opener. Use a can opener.
How do you use a can opener?
The same way you open a can. Didn't you ever open a can? You just put it on the plastic edge and you crank it and it works. I've done it,
Oh, you
A
mean
lot
like I'm sorry, like when you get a can of sardines and it has the key in there and you roll the key and it opens the can of sardines.
And they don't even make those anymore, do they? They
Who
use a
eats
pull
sardines?
tab, but I don't think they.
Well, have a whole case in the basement with my Levoris.
You'll have to have Levoris because after you eat a
Levoris,
can of sardines,
yes.
who's going to come near you?
when this podcast is over, he's taking Levoris out for lunch. So- So Don and Lavoris are going out for lunch. They're going to hit the
Look,
town.
Lavoris isn't coming here with that smelly breath.
But a lot of times these plastic packages are for they're tamper resistant for children to not get into it and stuff
That's
like that
true.
too. So it depends what it is. It's not just the big package, stores. It's like for a safety thing too.
And the stores don't care if it takes you 20 minutes to open up a package. All they care about is that it's tamper resistant, it traveled well. So they need to come up with a better idea. That's my 2 cents or 4 cents.
Yeah, or
inflation.
you have to come up with a better way to open it. See, I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
have
try the can opener,
problem.
Chuck.
Try the can opener. It works. I'm telling you, it works. I'm telling you, it works. It really does. It works. I'm telling you. I'm
Oh,
telling
thank
you.
you for telling us.
All right. I'm glad. Glad you're
I
listening.
think that's it, right?
Are we done?
I think
we
we're
had four.
done.
We had 4 events today. We had a voicemail, and we had 3 letters. We read them because Loretta's still out skiing or
Ugh.
snowboarding or tobogganing or whatever she's doing out there in her winter
Yeah.
sport. Did we learn anything today here, guys? I mean, I learned about Bobbies and Barbies.
I learned nothing.
There was okay. Well, if not, we hopefully we provided everybody with a few thoughts and things to think about and ponder and maybe a shtickle of information and maybe a few laughs. But people, don't forget to go to eventthis.org and write us event. You can write us event right there on the website. Or here it comes, folks. Here it comes. You can leave us a voicemail by calling 818-570-2535.
What was that, Chuck?
That number again is 818-570-2535. Well, thank you, Mickey. Okay. So, anyway, give us a voicemail and we'll play your voicemail on an upcoming episode.
We are fixing the world one vent at a time, right, Chuck Don?
And fixing the vent one world at a time.